Imagine being so poor that your mother had to place food directly in your open palms because there was no plate for you to eat from. That was the childhood reality of Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo. And in this video, I shared 7 lessons from her story that must change your life if you pay attention, starting with number 7. She is very prayerful. Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo said before she ever had a husband, while she was still a single young lady, she went to the market, bought a pair of baby shoes, and repeatedly prayed over it, believing God for children who did not exist yet. When she finally got married and had her children, she made sure every one of them wore that shoes, and she made sure to pray over it while they were wearing the shoes. She said one prayer that she prayed repeatedly was that her children would never marry into the wrong family. Today, she has 4 biological children and they are all happily married. Bishop Funke also shared that she fasted and prayed for 1 full year from 12 a.m. to 3 p.m. and sometimes 6 p.m. every day when her first daughter was about to get married.
I fasted for 1 year when my daughter was going to get married, and I broke my fast sometimes 3 p.m., sometimes 6 p.m.
She did that because she didn't want the negative patterns that she saw from her husband's bloodline and from her own bloodline to affect her children. Despite the prayers she made, after her daughter got married, she could not give birth for 2 years before she had her first child. Now imagine what would have happened if Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo never prayed at all. Bishop Funke also stated that each time her children were about to bear their own children, she never traveled anywhere. And on the delivery day, she would always be at the hospital or wherever she is, praying for the children. During one of such delivery moments, while Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo was in the hospital praying earnestly for the safe delivery of her daughter and the unborn child, her daughter had given birth and was dying. But according to the daughter, all of a sudden, she saw the face of the doctor shouting and calling her back to come back. And that was how she jacked back to life. While all of this was going on, her mother was praying for her. Bishop Funke said, life is a battle. You have to pray if you want to win. She wrote a book that contains over 100 prayer points that every mother must pray over their children. This book is titled, My Seed is a Champion. You can click the link in my bio or in the description of this video to access the book and buy a copy. It's available in both e-copies, that's PDF, and a hard copy. Number 6. She has over 16 streams of income. Bishop Funke said she and her husband has over 16 different streams of income and they are still adding more.
As I stand before you now, some of you know that I sell food, amala, and yam, see okra. I have a salon for nail, male and female. For hair, I sell fabrics, FFA casuals. I have a gym. I have a children's play area. I have a mini hotel, 28 rooms. I have halls. I'm a certified coach. I'm not only a preacher. I have my certificate. I coach. I have a matrix center that is registered and people pay me. As I stand before you now, I have gotten the land for FFA Girls College.
She said the Bible advises that we diversify our resources, and she learned these various streams of income from Richard Branson. He was asked during an interview if the recession was affecting his business. His response was that he didn't know if recession was existing because he had over 100 streams of income. Number 5. She troubled her husband in the early years of their marriage.
I was 19 when I met my husband, and I didn't know he would be a pastor.
Bishop Funke said, as a young pastor's wife, in the early years of the ministry, she frustrated her husband a lot.
When he now became a pastor, I wasn't used to that kind of a life. I didn't see examples around me. So I began to give him problems. He couldn't hug any lady. I'll get her and say, why do you hug him that much? We had a misunderstanding on Saturday evening. You see me in church, you know. Mama would try to talk to me. I would say, just don't let me misbehave here. Just let me worship my God.
The only reason she changed was when she had an encounter with God. During that encounter, God asked her, how do you want your funeral to look like?
The Lord said to me, how would you want your funeral service to look like? I said, I bind you, Satan, in the name of Jesus. The Lord said to me, it is I, your father, not the devil. Because you are troubling your Zachariah. You are distracting him. You're not allowing him to face front. The Lord said to me, I am planning to get him another wife who will allow him to fulfill my purpose. She will take care of your children. And here the last statement. that broke me down, and you will not be missed.
That encounter changed her completely. She said her head became correct. From that day forward, she became so devoted to her husband's ministry and her husband. She would sweep the church and sow into the ministry and even wake him up at night to tell him how handsome he was. She also added Felix to her own name so that people would know that she belonged to him. Number 4, she's always improving herself daily.
I'm online, self-improving every day.
After giving birth to 4 of her children, she went back to the University of Nigeria in Nsukka to study English and graduated top of her class.
I went back for my first degree after 4 children. I had NCE. So I went back to school and I came back leading the class. One day my husband saw me, 4 a.m. I was still studying. He said, they need to give you PhD. I don't want to carry the normal regular anointing. Pastor's wife.
To her, growth is a daily discipline. Number 3, she had to eat from her palm because the plates at home were not enough.
I am just one village girl helped by God.
Bishop Funke grew up in severe poverty that even the poor around her called her poor. She wasn't born poor. She was born on the 28th of January 1963 in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. Her father worked with the government, so he was doing pretty okay. He even had plans to build a house for his family. So he gradually started buying building materials little by little, keeping them under the bed until the day he was ready to start building. But before that day came, he made the big mistake of taking Bishop Funke and her younger brother with him to the village. When they got there, lots of people were excited to see them and they began carrying her brother and passing him from one aunt or uncle to the other. Almost as soon as they returned from the village, her brother fell seriously ill. Her father took him from one herbalist to another, hospital to hospital, spending all the money that they had. Once the money got finished, he began selling off the building materials he has saved for years and even the properties that he owned, including the plates that they had at home. The day they sold off their last property, her brother died. They became very poor to the extent that her mother had to pour food directly in Bishop Funke's palm so she could eat. When it was time for Bishop Funke to go to secondary school, there was no money left. Her father had to resign voluntarily from his government job so he could collect his gratuity and pay her tuition fees for the first 2 years in school. To fund the rest of her schooling, Bishop Funke had to hawk goods. Her uncle also assisted her sometimes with provisions since it was a boarding school, and that was how she survived and graduated from secondary school. But she didn't allow her background to determine her tomorrow. She became very successful and cared for her dad, that her dad told her before he died that she was better than 7 sons. Number 2, she blocked over 500 people on her phone.
Some of you, after this service, you need to pick your phone and delete some numbers. On my phone, I have blocked 533 people. On this phone, 533. The people you are cutting your head for, you are not even their priority.
Bishop Funke said she doesn't have time for everyone.
I only have time for the people in my tribe. People that are inspiring me to love God. People that are inspiring me to serve Jesus. People that are inspiring me to be a better version of myself than the people I'm spending my time with.
Number 1, she's a very thankful person. During a Thanksgiving service, Pastor Emmanuel Iren shared a beautiful story about Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo.
I went to preach somewhere, and the other guest was Mrs. Funke Adejumo. We were on the same flight home. Somebody graciously chartered a private jet for both of us. We sat side by side, and I observed. As this woman sat down, one of the first things she did, she got her praise journal out, started writing. God, at least in my memory, is not that long ago when I was hawking on the streets. I'm in a private jet. God, thank you. She wrote it and she put tears. She wrote tears. In that short flight, she had thanked God she was thankful about everything. And she looked at me with tears in her eyes and was telling me stories about the things that God had done for her and things that God had helped her. I won't lie to you, I repented that day.
Bishop Funke has also shared the story of how she has appreciated and continues to appreciate the people that stood by her when she was a nobody time and again, and has encouraged people never to bite the fingers that fed them. And that, my lovelies, is 7 lessons from Bishop Funke Felix-Adejumo's story. Thanks for sticking around to the very end. Ensure you like this video, share, and click on the subscribe icon. Remember to click the link in bio and in the description of this video to get the book with over 100 prayer points you should be praying over your children from Amazon. My name is Charity Lawrence, and I'll see you all in my next video. Until then,